Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Forrest out in St. Louis. Hopefully, you're having a wonderful Wednesday. I know I did. It started ridiculously early this morning, pretty much went all day. Had an absolutely awesome coaching session. We actually got in to the inner circle, and just all eight of us coaches were in there. It was absolutely awesome to be part of that interaction with the 100K inner circle peeps, and just um, throwing out some motivation and inspiration. So a couple of things. One, wanted to talk about, and I just got this message, and I was going to talk about one thing, and it inspired me. And sometimes making a commitment to show up sometimes means maybe changing what you want to talk about on the fly. And it says, "Is it my calling?" And one of the things that I've discovered as going through life, sometimes you don't know what your calling is, and it's not here nor there. Sometimes you just need to show up, right? To an event. For example, a year ago, made a decision to show up at Rank Makers Live. However, many years prior to that, I put it out into the universe that I wanted to do what Anthony Robbins does, and basically that's if you and he a lot of people call him a motivational speaker. He's more like a life transformational person. He gets you to think differently. So coming back to say this, I was reading this post, and he in this question, and hopefully this isn't to embarrass anybody, so I'm not going to use any names, but I'm gonna say this because it's the difference between your calling and making money are two completely different things, and they don't necessarily have to be intertwined. And I'm going to read these 8 steps. I've got these, and I just brought these up. They may or may not uh, mean anything, but it's 8 signs you discovered your calling, or maybe some things that are driving toward your calling. One, the first one, I'm going to read this. It says, "Quick question. I'm having trouble getting honed in on what I'm doing, as I'm having about 10 different angles to lead with." Okay. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to come back to that. For example, I'm passionate about helping others with addictions, and one of them from grade school on. I also have some desires to minister and to do mission trips. I'm struggling at how to weave customer gathering and associate gathering in with it. I guess I feel unworthy or not as excited to just focus on business. I think I need a simple and direct script that doesn't let me lose my calling, but I don't know how to convey it without being clunky. So I'm going to say this, right? I'm going to say this. If you have a calling, it's not going to be clunky. You're going to know instinctively in your gut what you need to do. There's not going to be any, I'm not sure, what am I going to do now. You may not know from, say, a nonprofit standpoint and how to start it, right? And there's people that can specialize that. You can outsource that. Say you're going to start a nonprofit mission organization. That may be your calling. That may be something you want to do. You think about it, you sleep about it, you write about it, you read about it, and then you start to resource it, right? You start to look for people. That's all you think about. If that's your calling, that's all you're going to do. There's not going to be any clunkiness around the edges, right? There's not going to be any of this, well, I did this and I did that. For example, when I went through recovery, I've been clean and sober for over 30 since January 1988. So I'll let you guys do the math. It's been a while, and I want to say it's 32 years, 33 years, something like that. It's been a while. So let's see, 20. Go. I don't know. You guys can do the math and tell me how many years. And I've been clean and sober, and a lot of that time, my calling. It wasn't my calling. It was something that I had to do to get recovered. And part of that was working with other alcoholics as part of the whole recovery process. It has nothing to do with it. And some people, and I actually went into counseling for a little while and did counseling and did group counseling and did that because it needed to be done for me, right? That it wasn't necessarily, they say Alcoholics Anonymous is a selfish program that you got to give away to keep, right? Thank you. 32 years. Thank you. So in doing that, that wasn't my calling. It was maybe my purpose at the time in life. It was something that I was doing then because it needed to be done because I need to fix me, right? I need to get all of this craziness fixed, and so I could move on and do whatever I need to do. And there was a lot of not happy days in my recovery. And it would be neat to just, be able to put the alcohol down in your fix, but it doesn't work that way because there's a whole lot of other stuff that goes on in the mix of that. So said that to say this: if you have a calling, if you know deep down in your heart, there's nothing clunky going to be about it. There's no doubts about it. You sleep about it, you read about it, you dream about it, you talk about it, you're on a mission about it. If you're Michael Jordan, you're shooting baskets every day, you're at the court every day. You don't do anything but you eat, drink, and sleep basketball. You've got basketball posters all over your bedroom. You've got basketballs. You watch basketball. You live basketball. You read basketball. You shoot basketball. That's your calling. Your calling is to be a freaking basketball player, right? Now, in life, as you become a basketball player, you may get other tugs at your heart to go out and do philanthropic stuff, right? You may get tugs at your heart to say, okay, I want to go, in the inner city and build basketball camps, or I might want to go build some houses for homeless people over here. Your desires based on what your calling was is going to give you opportunities and create opportunities for you to go in other directions. So this first one here, these are just basically eight signs to discover your calling. Number one, you have an irrational urge involving a quest. You know that that's something you want to do. You eat it, you drink it, you sleep it, you talk about it, you write about it. You just can't get it off your mind, right? And they're part of this is just the first phase of hero's journey. It's a setting where the hero, you, and living in an ordinary world autonomously, going about life, basically just being your monotonous day in the same way, and oftentimes wishing for more. At some point, you're discovering your calling comes as an urge to venture out into the unknown world in some sort of quest. For me, throughout the 9 months of this vivid lucid dream, so on and so forth. So something starts to tug at your heart. Most of the time, callings come from something that you accidentally bump into a lot of times. It's like, wow, I never knew that. And you fall in love with it, and you get crazy about it. And next thing you know, you're doing life missions and life passions and things like that because God pushes us sometimes in those directions. For example, here it says for peak performance strategist, there you go, Tony Robbins, this came as an unexpected gift for the worst experiences in his life, where his father walked out on him and his family feeling worthless because a man delivered a Thanksgiving basket to them. From that day to now, Tony Robbins has created a foundation that feeds millions of people every year during Thanksgiving with basket brigades. So your calling can come in different fashions, but I can tell you this, and this is how you separate that, right? This is how you separate your calling from making money. Your calling is going to give you creative ways to make your money. And your calling is like, say, for example, I know that one of my things that I want to do, my calling right now is to make an impact on people's lives, is to give them an opportunity to look at my opportunity to see if it's going to be a fit for their life. Man, there's bugs flying around here. It's just driving me nuts. To see if there's an opportunity for them, see if they can look at your opportunity to see if it's going to help them fill that empty refrigerator. So whatever that is, that's my mission. I'm on a mission to help people have no more empty refrigerators. And that empty refrigerator can be anything that means to you. It can be, paying off debt, getting out of the second job, maybe paying off a house, putting money in savings, sending your kids to college, or literally it might be just having enough money so your whole life don't go to hell in a handbasket, right? Whatever that is for you, that's very important that you understand that. But more importantly, when you know you got a calling, when you know it's going to tug from like the bottom of your gut and it's going to drag you through life and it's not going to let you stop. You think about the people that you see like, oh my God, how did that person get? Because that's all they ever did. If they're famous dancers, all they did was dance. They didn't just wake up one day and say, oh, I'm going to go be a dancer. No, that's all they did was dance. That's all they did was act. I think it was Morgan Freeman who, it was 33 years. 33 years, I believe I think it's the right guy I'm thinking about. It might have been Samuel Jackson. It was one of those guys. It was 33 years that he went to audition before he got his major acting role. 33 years. You know what his calling was? He wanted to be an actor. 33 years he showed up until he got his major role. It might have been Samuel Jackson. It was one of those two. And that's a calling. That is a freaking calling. That's a calling wrapped in a mission, wrapped in now, because he's got these acting gigs, right? he can now use his money to go out and do cool philanthropic stuff if that's what he desires to do. He can now help people. So you're going to know if your calling's around the corner. So here's what I'm going to do. I was going to read this list. I'm not going to. But and this just inspired me. Sometimes you read stuff and it just says, and God tugs on my heart to sometimes to do some fun stuff. So if you guys want to play next week, I'm doing book club. As we've got, I've got right now, I'm going through the Rank Makers Live Challenge, basically now up through Saturday, which is cool. So starting on Sunday evening, I'm going to do my live. I'm going to do this Purpose-Driven Life. And Purpose-Driven Life has a journal, sort of like a workbook. And then I'm going to use the Maxwell's Leadership Bible to tie all of these in together. And it's going to be a book club. And we're going to go through these. If you have these books, you can join in. I'm sure you can buy them online somewhere for not as much as they are at the bookstore. If you want to go down to I don't even know if they have bookstores anymore. But if you want to go buy the hard copy versions, you can, or maybe order them from Amazon, the original online bookstore, and get those. And I like the Maxwell Leadership book Bible. It is so freaking cool. So if that's something you want to do, I'm going to start doing that next week. Actually this week, Sunday, I'm going to start on this. And I'm going to go through this. I'm probably just going to do it for 7 days. We'll see. I'm just going to play it one day at a time to sort of see how it goes. And I think I want to go through this entire book. I don't know if we're going to do a chapter at a time, but I'm going to skim through it and sort of see how reasonable it is, because it's got a lot of stuff in it. So I want to work through this and just maybe create some pushes here and maybe help some people find their calling, because network marketing and cool can be a vehicle to create the income to help you fuel that calling, right? So to get the clunkiness out of that, to get the clunkiness out of like, well, here's my calling, here's what I want to do, but I don't have any money to do it. You can draw that line, and you can use network marketing as the vehicle to create the income and give you the leverage to get the time freedom to go do your calling, right? So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I love you. Jesus loves you. There's absolutely nothing to do about it. I'm on a mission to have no more empty refrigerators, make an extreme impact, and be a legacy creator. And I hope you are too. I will see you at Rank Makers Live tomorrow. I'm so freaking jazzed. I'm excited. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.